Iowa's news leader and home of live Super Doppler. This is KCCI News Channel 8 at 10.
No officer wants to be involved in a chase.
Especially when the chase ends up in a crash like this one on Des Moines' northeast side did today.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. A stolen car, a police chase, and then a crash.
And new information tonight on the men involved. News Channel 8's Todd Magel live at the accident site near East 25th, 5th and Hall.
First off, Todd, they've cleaned up the mess there from earlier today?
They've done some cleanup, Kevin. I'll show you what they've done here. You see there's a new power pole here. This is one that was sheared off after the car crash. And you can also see down the street there's some more debris after the car literally exploded through the snow and these power poles. Some of the mess is cleaned up, but the investigation still has a long way to go.
You could hear the real loud thud and crash. There was just two real loud thuds, like an empty drum thud when you heard it hit. And instantly all the electricity and power went off.
Neighbors like Larry Smith got a big surprise when this white Mitsubishi 3000 GT sports car came flying through their neighborhood. Police say two men inside stole it earlier Monday morning. An officer spotted the car and started to follow. The chase only lasted 20 seconds before the car crashed, sliced through two utility poles, and flipped into the snow hood first.
When crimes are committed, sometimes terrible things happen, and this is one of the times where an accident happened and individuals got hurt as a result.
The big question is, who are the two people inside the car? Neither had an ID, but thanks to media reports of descriptions of the victims, police now say they've identified them as juveniles, but they're not releasing the name pending notification of family. And police want to thank the general public for helping them identify the two victims in this crash. And by the way, those two juveniles, we're told, are still in critical condition at Des Moines hospitals tonight.
And going back to the beginning here, Todd, how do police believe the two suspects got the stolen car to begin with?
Apparently there was a northeast side man who had his car running with the keys in it up on just north of where we are here, warming it up this morning. And we talked to that man today. He says it's the last time he'll leave his car unlocked, warming it up in the morning, because this is what can happen.
All right, Todd Magel with the top story tonight. Thank you, Todd. Also new tonight, police say a drunk driver caused a serious crash and then tried to run away. It happened in Urbandale at 70th and Aurora just after 7 o'clock. Police say a man identified as 38-year-old Chris Anderson was driving north on 70th in the gray Dodge station wagon when he ran a stop sign and hit a southbound car that was turning left. Anderson tried to run from the scene, but an off-duty state trooper found him hiding behind a nearby house. Other witnesses helped hold Anderson at the scene until police could arrive. He is now charged with drunk driving and other traffic charges. His passenger was taken to the hospital. People in the other car are expected to be all right.
5 Roosevelt High School students have now been identified for their roles in a fight after a basketball game last Friday night. 2 girls got into a fight outside Hoover High School, and soon several others joined in the brawl. The 5 students face suspension or expulsion from school in addition to criminal penalties. Des Moines schools do have a zero-tolerance policy for fighting.
The first thing is that we act in a very clear way so that we signal to students that this kind of behavior is not going to be acceptable, and you're going to pay the consequences if you engage in it.
Some administrators and school resource officers are suggesting playing games during the day. Others say that's not really feasible and consider this an isolated incident.
Well, they arrived a little behind schedule, but for families of some 60 Iowa National Guard soldiers, it was well worth the wait.
News Channel 8's Jeff Greenwood was at a very happy homecoming tonight at the Guard's state headquarters. And Jeff, these are always so touching to attend.
Oh, they sure are. Everybody is just absolutely elated for a day like this. It was a very happy homecoming for family, friends, and soldiers of the headquarters and headquarters detachment of the 185th Corps Support Battalion. It's a hero's welcome for the headquarters and headquarters detachment of the 185th Corps Support Battalion. Some 6 soldiers are greeted by some 500 people at the Iowa National Guard's state headquarters. From the searing Middle East to the frigid Midwest, the soldiers get a very warm welcome.
We ordered up 14 inches of snow and some below zero weather so that you know you're back in Iowa.
185th Corps Support Battalion, dismissed.
The order to dismiss sets off a frenzy. Soldiers looking for loved ones and loved ones looking for soldiers.
It's been a long year working hard, just writing her emails every night, and just praying a lot and waiting for her to come home, and it's finally here.
He definitely survived it like a super trooper and gave me all the support that I needed, and he was the best husband.
My girls. Yeah. Yep, that's what I miss the most. It was okay over there, but just being away from my girls was terrible.
Now that the terribly long wait is over, it's time to catch up.
Eat some good food, spend time with family and friends.
How about the uniform on the little guy there? The unit handled logistical support functions for the Army and Marines, such as supplying units with food, fluids, and fuel. Units they served with did suffer some casualties, but fortunately, this unit returned unscathed and quite happy. Jeanette?
A happy homecoming indeed. Thanks for taking us there, Jeff.
All right.
In Iraq today, a Catholic archbishop is kidnapped as insurgents continue to try and intimidate voters with violence. Iraqi rebels killed 8 National Guardsmen today in Baqaba, which is north of Baghdad. In Mosul, the archbishop of the Syrian Catholic Church was abducted at gunpoint. Iraq's police and newly trained military will be responsible for election day security. Plans call for a 3-day ban on traffic, and in some cases, polling locations will be kept secret until just hours before the voting begins. The 150,000 American soldiers will step in only if they are needed.
Our role is to be on the sideline. We have prepared contingency plans, and if we're called upon to assist, we will respond.
Not only do most Iraqis not know where they will be voting, most don't know what the elections are about. 60% of voters say they think they're choosing a new president, but they are not. They'll be electing a National Assembly to write Iraq's new constitution.
Tomorrow morning, an important decision that could affect where you can buy cold medicine here in Polk County. Polk County supervisors will vote on whether medicine with pseudoephedrine should be kept behind pharmacy counters. Pseudoephedrine is a key ingredient in the making of methamphetamine.
Well, hundreds of Iowans turned out to mark Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday today. At the State Historical Building, Governor Vilsack signed a proclamation making this Martin Luther King Day as well as Martin Luther King Week. Vilsack says King showed us that everyone can make a difference. Dr. King would have turned 76 years old this past Saturday. Make sure you check out our interactive timeline of King's life at theiowachannel.com. You can download audio clips and transcripts of his major speeches.
Well, with the sunshine out today, it didn't seem quite as cold as it's been, but it was chilly. However, it really won't be that cold over the next few days. At least that's what meteorologist John McLaughlin is telling us.
That's right. Your team of crack meteorologists back from a few days off, talking about warmer temperatures as we head through the next couple of days. Let's look at outside right now, and you can see temperatures from about -1 up in Mallard, 1 above in Latimer as we head into central Iowa, 6 in West Des Moines, 7 in Ankeny, and 9 down in Creston. Weather headlines: another brutally cold night tonight. Temperatures already below 0 as you see to the north. South winds, however, returning during the day tomorrow, and that should mean high temperatures climbing into the upper 20s. The news gets a little bit better toward midweek. We'll have those details in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. Still ahead on News Channel 8 at 10. Iowans looking to get back on their feet faster after surgery aren't just relying on the doctor. See how robots are stepping in to speed up recovery.
Plus, it is the first inauguration since the 9/11 attacks. Why thousands of police and military will be on the lookout for things like limo bombs.
I'm Lori Kinney in Washington, where hotels are going all out for Inauguration Week. This one has a replica of the Oval Office in the lobby. We'll show you more inaugural luxury coming up.
Start off a terrific Tuesday with News Channel 8 this morning.
We'll have all your updated news from overnight.
And more on that warm-up in our 5-day forecast. Be sure to join us. We'll see you tomorrow beginning at 5.
Helping you feel your best.
Sledding can be a great way for children and parents to get exercise during the winter. But do your children know how to stay safe while they are sledding? Sleds can hit speeds of up to 10 to 20 miles per hour. Make sure your child rides sitting up and facing forward, not lying face down. The sled should also be sturdy and one that is easy to steer. Most importantly, remind your children not to choose hills that are too steep or end anywhere near a road.
Brought to you by Blank Children's Hospital and KCCI.
At Lexus, we understand it's hard to predict what you might encounter on the road. That's why the Lexus ES comes with front-wheel drive and available vehicle stability control. Because the elements aren't the only challenges in winter. That's Lexus Des Moines.
This week at Wagshaw Furniture, entertainment centers for every room in your home are on sale. Plus, get 12 months 0% financing. How about a stand for that 13-inch TV in your bedroom? Or an entertainment center to hold the TV, VCR, DVD player, audio equipment, and the kids' Xbox in the family room. Need a TV stand or entertainment center for that new 60-inch LCD or plasma TV? Shop early at Wagshaw Furniture for best in-stock selection. Or order exactly what you want in the wood and stain of your choice. Wagshaw Furniture, Urbandale.
Every mile of this great state invokes a spirit of adventure. You rely on your vehicle to make the most of it, and nobody has more SUV choices than Chevy. And now current GM owners and lessees can get $4,500 cash back on an 05 Suburban and $4,000 cash back on an 05 Tahoe. Chevy. Turn the key. Start a revolution. See your select Central Iowa Chevy dealer today. More Iowans drive Chevy.
You're watching KCCI News Channel 8 at 10. Iowa's news leader. With Kevin Cooney, Jeanette Trumpeter, Heidi Soliday Sports, and meteorologist John McLaughlin with exclusive live Super Doppler weather. This is KCCI News Channel 8.
Protective measures will be seen. There'll be quite a few that are not seen.
Just days before the real thing, the nation's capital is getting ready for what's being called an unprecedented inauguration. Welcome back. Along with all the pageantry comes all the security.
And with the nation at war, no other inauguration in history has had tighter security than what's being planned for this one. Some 6,000 security personnel will be split between land, water, and air. Key buildings will receive round-the-clock surveillance. About 100 square blocks will be closed to traffic on Inauguration Day. One of the concerns that terrorists may use limousines as locators for bombs. D.C.'s top hotels are going all out. One in particular has put together a deal called the Presidential Privilege Package.
News Channel 8's Lori Kinney checks out what you can get for a couple of $100,000.